On today's episode of Koi's Bistro, we will be making shrimp and vegetable egg foo young, so let's get into it. Here are all the ingredients you will be needing for this recipe today. We're going to start by cutting our onion in half and follow that up by cutting each half into half-inch strips. Once you've completed that, we're going to turn our onions and cut across half an inch as well. And you should get about 5 strips in total, leaving you with uniformly diced onions. Next up is our cabbage. Now for this recipe, we're using green, however, Napa is recommended. You want to take about 1 or 2 leaves at a time and slice into 1/4-inch shreds, then slice down the middle. I used about 6 to 8 leaves of cabbage for this recipe, so feel free to use more or less. Egg foo young has no set standard. You can put whatever you want inside of it, however much your heart desires. It is up to you. Last but not least are our scallions. We're going to be removing the ends that are sprouted, as well as cut the white section of our green onions. We won't be using them today, however, do not discard them. However, what you can discard are the wilted tips. Our green onions will be used as a garnish today, so feel free to slice them as thin or thick as you would like. Me, I will be slicing them on an axis. On to our shrimp. Now, unfortunately, I did not catch the footage of me seasoning it with some salt, but I did. It was white salt, and I'm finishing it off with some white pepper. To a hot pan, add a 1/4 stick of butter and prepare to cook your shrimp. I'm using extra jumbo shrimp, so it's going to take about 1.5 minutes on both sides to cook fully. once your shrimp are finished cooking, you're going to place them onto another plate or a cutting board and cut them into 3 to 4 pieces. Back to the hot pan, we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter and follow that up by sauteing our veggies. We're only going to let our onions cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. We want them to become translucent but still hold some texture. Now that our onions have finished cooking, we're going to remove them from the pan and then add our cabbage. We're going to saute the cabbage for about the same amount of time as we did our onions, if not a little less. We're looking for a bright green color to come from our cabbage, and that's how you'll know it's ready. We're going to be adding a little bit of Himalayan salt to our cabbage to help sweat it out. We want that to remove any excess water. Adding black pepper is optional at this point, so if you do not want to use it, feel free to skip this step. Our veggies are complete, and now it is on to making the gravy. I'm using chicken bouillon cubes for my recipe. However, you can use the already made stock in a box or homemade chicken stock, whichever you have on hand. To our 2 bouillon cubes, we will be adding 1.5 bottles of water and letting that come to a boil. And our chicken stock is ready. Now it is on to making the gravy. I thought I had the camera rolling, but unfortunately I didn't. However, you're going to remove the chicken stock from the pot, put that in a separate bowl. Add 2 tablespoons of butter along with 4 tablespoons of flour to your pot. Let that cook and become a bit of a paste, not too thick, not too thin. And then to that we'll be adding our chicken stock slowly. We want it to be a smooth gravy, so prepare yourself for that arm workout. Now we will be adding our soy sauce, sherry wine, and our rice wine vinegar. If you don't have Shaoxing wine, sherry wine is a perfect alternative. Add only 1 dash of sesame oil because that's right. We're going to give our gravy a stir and also taste as we go to see if we need to add anything more. As you can see, we need a little bit more soy sauce for color as well as the saltiness. To give it that taste that makes you want to go back for more, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of sugar, give it 1 last stir, and our gravy is complete. Our shrimp, veggies, and gravy are complete. Now it is on to the star of the show, the eggs. Now, I know the price of eggs are extremely high at this time, and I do not take that for granted. However, I am cooking for 3 additional people aside from myself, so I just want to be sure that I have enough. As stated in the text below, removing the calaza is optional. However, if you're anything like me and get the ick, you're going to want to remove it. Once all of our calazas are out, it is time to beat. To our beaten eggs, we're going to add some salt and pepper. And I know it probably seems like an excessive amount of salt is being used, but we want to flavor every layer of this recipe. We are almost at the final stretch. Now it is time to build our omelets. We're going to add that sauteed cabbage from earlier, our onions, as well as our broccoli. I will be holding off on adding shrimp at this point in time for safety reasons. My niece, who actually requested this meal, unfortunately cannot eat shrimp. She is extremely allergic, so to avoid any accidents, I will be making her vegetable egg foo young omelets first, then the rest will be made with the shrimp added. We let our oil get hot along with a stick of butter, and now it is time to start cooking our omelets. You're going to want to let these cook for 2.5 minutes on both sides until they're golden brown. I'm basting the omelets with a little bit of oil to help seal in the vegetables with the eggs so nothing falls out when we go to flip it. This one isn't as golden as I would like it, so we're going to let that cook for an additional minute before removing, and then we can move on to our shrimp and vegetable version. The same rules apply. We're going to be letting these cook for 2.5 minutes on both sides, and then we will be removing it to let the oil drain. Our omelets are complete. Now it is time to plate. Now this is my plate, so of course I'm going to be hands-on, but do not be like me because these omelets are extremely hot. So be very careful. One of the reasons I always get egg foo young when ordering takeout is for the gravy, so I need plenty of it on my plate. for the finish, we will be topping our omelets off with a scallion, and voila! Get ready, because bon appetit, it is time to eat. Don't hesitate to give this recipe a try, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.